Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1976's Rocky. Before we get started, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Corey_Idol. And let's rock and roll with 1976's Rocky. This film stars Sylvester Stallone as Rocky Balboa, Talia Shire as Adrian, Burt Young as Paulie, Carl Weathers as Apollo, and Burgess Meredith as Mickey.
Paulie is what Uncle Corey would have been if things went very differently.
Like, listen, I was telling you before we started recording, like it's been a minute since I've seen it, like a couple years. This was on like a regular rotation for me for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Given my background and where I grew up and all that, yeah, it was in constant rotation.
You're so racist.
And I knew that Paulie was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's just a common theme throughout all of the Rockies. Paulie's just like this self-loathing, like just piece of shit, lazy. But I didn't realize, I thought it was just like he's lazy, he's always looking for a handout kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize and I didn't remember how abusive he was in this first one, especially. Because they smoothed out some of the rough edges in the Rocky 2 and 3 and made him a little bit more likable. He was like the likable loser in the rest of the franchise. But in this first one, he's fucking swinging bats and worried about Adrian's virginity. Like,
You screwing my sister?
You're busted! What? Oh! You're not a virgin!
He is next level trash, and he does it so well that I'm like literally trying to think who's done it better.
Yeah.
Who's just been that piece of shit, downtrodden white trash motherfucker who blames everyone else for everything. It's incredible.
Oh, it's
and he
awesome.
uses Adrian as a verbal punching bag throughout this movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I didn't realize is Rocky is ripping heaters through this whole fucking movie. I didn't realize how many cigarettes he was smoking through literally the first half to the first 3/4 of this movie.
Yeah, he's crushing butts.
And let me start off by saying this. As soon as you press play, if you don't get a little riled up, you're not human. You got the intro music with the Rocky title card scrolling across the screen in block letters. It's the perfect setup for what this movie is.
Oh, yeah. And then it opens up on your boy JC, which I know got your Catholicism just going. You were ready to start the fucking Crusades when this movie started.
All right, Rocco! All right, slide!
It then transitions into Rocky fighting Spider Rico at a boxing gym that he works out at, which is basically a street fight that the locals can gamble on.
Well, yeah, because one guy literally comes up to him and is like, "Hey, Rock, are you feeling strong? I want to put like some money on you in the third." He's like, "Yeah, I'm strong." He's like, "All right, buddy."
And the funny thing is, so Rocky gets $40 for winning the fight. And he's like, locker fee, gratuity for Mickey, a fucking, there's $4 for towels or whatever the fuck. Like, here, you get the rest. It's $40.15.
That takes a lot of balls charging somebody that much money when you're putting on a boxing match in a fucking church basement. Like, Here's an idea. Go fuck yourself and give me my fucking money.
Don't sound like much, but it adds up.
Towel fee, locker fee, fucking taxes. Hey, how about this, Uncle Sam? I'll worry about my taxes, said Wesley Snipes.
Rocky then walks home and we see the singing street rats and that, we see Rocky's shithole apartment. And this is all set up. He's super poor. And we already see that this dude has CTE, like in real time. He loves his goldfish and his turtles, Cuff and Link, and he's got knives just jabbed into the wall at random spots in his apartment to hang his jacket and his hat.
Well, yeah, what do you think, he can afford a coat rack?
You don't have a closet with like a couple of coat hangers? Nothing? Okay,
Nope.
cool.
A closet. Yeah, that's the toilet. You never actually hear the toilet. You just hear water flushing.
The next day, he makes his daily visit to the pet store to see Adrian and spit his awful game and tell bad jokes and all of this stuff. And again, more character setup between him and Adrian. And you really don't see, Adrian doesn't say a word. Like, she might say hello and goodbye, but she doesn't have any actual dialogue until the ice skating scene when they go out on the date. But we also see Rocky as this meathead collector for, a local loan shark, Gazzo. But he's like this nice collector, though. He doles out some financial advice and...
You're still $70 late. You should have planned ahead. You know that?
And he doesn't really want to beat people up. No. And Gazzo finds out about this and like gives him a talking to, like, you should have... I told you to break that guy's thumbs, and you didn't break his thumbs. Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey here. When you sign up for a job, understand what that job entails.
Yes.
I mean, if your boss tells you, you got to do this, you got to do it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right, I got it.
He works for the mob, basically, but, like, he's nice, and he's not going to break your legs, but he's going to be like, hey, between you and me's, let's meet behind the dumpster later and I'll collect the rest of the money. Just come on, you got to work with me here. Like,
well, here's why I would have broken this guy's thumb is because he says, I don't have any money, I'm broke. And then he takes out $130 in cash from his fucking pocket.
Yep.
I've been on vacation and never taken out $130 and had it in my pocket. Are you out of your fucking mind, you're broke?
Yes.
Bitch, I'm breaking your fucking thumb too.
So we then cut back to the gym and Rocky gets the news that Mickey gave his locker to someone else and bagged his shit up because apparently he's a tomato and he gave his locker to Dipper because he's a climber. And if you notice, Dipper is played by Stan Shaw, who plays the champ in Harlem Nights.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Well, he unnecessarily talks shit to Rocky here. He's like, hey, man, I like your locker.
Yeah, your locker's super nice.
Is it?
I dig your locker, man.
This is the question I have. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I'll just do it. Don't do that here.
Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Hi, small-time gym owners. If you're going to own a boxing gym and you're charging locker rental fees and the boxer literally pays his locker rental fee, don't be a dick and take his locker away because he gave you money for said locker. It sounds like a simple business plan. Like, hey, they pay you money, you give them their shit. Don't just fucking randomly take. Mickey could give 2 squirts of piss and about anybody. He was just like, you're a fucking tomato and I don't like tomatoes. I like fucking carrots. I'm like, Mickey, I don't even know what you're saying half the time.
No, he's a bumbling mess throughout most of this. And my thing here is, give me back my money.
Fuck yes.
It's a new month, Rock, and we're changing over the lockers and we're not renewing your lease. Fine, that's fair game. This is just like, I gave your fucking locker away because this guy's a contender and you fought a bum and Spider and barely beat him. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Cool, give me back my money then.
Yeah, give me back my $7. And by the way,
$7 would feed Rocky and his turtles and his goldfish and half that fucking building for 3 weeks. This is like Depression era 70s inflation going on here. This is crazy.
Yes. We then finally meet Paulie at this local corner bar. Rocky tells him that he wants to bang his sister, Adrian, apparently. And he's like, hey, Paulie, can you help me out? And I want to hook up with your sister, but she's not giving me any play and she's not saying anything to me.
And every night I pass by the place I tell a joke. Every morning I pass by the place I tell a joke. Nothing. She just looks at me. You know what I mean?
But, like, I wanted them to write in the script here, I wish they would have done it, and just have Paulie look at Rocky and just go, dude, have you heard the game that you're spitting at my sister? Of course she doesn't want to bang you. You're a moron. Like, exactly. At least learn some better jokes or whatever. Well, Rocky's the kind of guy. Rocky's me. Okay, I identify with this aspect of Rocky because I can't fight for shit. But this aspect, Rocky continually talks like nonstop, motor mouth, because he's like, okay, one of these is gonna land. Okay, one of these jokes is gonna be funny, and then I'm in. And that's me. I just throw out jokes. 90% of them suck, but the one that hits, I'm like, yeah, I got it.
Well, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there with the jokes, because this is what I was going to do.
Corey's life lessons.
Rocky says here at one point to the parakeets, I believe, hey, I'm going to go home and make up some more jokes for tomorrow. That's your first, like, full stop. Don't do that. You're not a comedian. Go ahead and borrow other people's jokes. It's fine. Because whatever you're making up, it's not going to work.
Yes.
Have you ever heard what a person who really like I made up a joke today. It's dog shit.
Yes.
And especially no point.
And especially
it's
back
like
then.
This show. There's real no point or purpose whatsoever. But you still find yourself laughing because everybody else is, I guess.
Yeah.
Rocky is just like, do not make up your own jokes. I beg of you.
Yes. And that's why I laugh so much on this show, to make everybody else feel comfortable that it's okay to laugh. But this is also back in 1976. There was no Google machine. Like, at least now you can be like, hey, I'm going to go home and I'm going to Google the new dad jokes or whatever. He literally had to make these up himself.
Oh, yeah, and you could tell it's not modern times in any way, shape, or form, because it takes them like 7 days to find Rocky once they decide that's who Apollo's going to fight.
Yes. Paulie asks Rocky for a job with Gazzo, which becomes a thing throughout this whole franchise. Rocky doesn't want to give him the job or talk to Gazzo about it because he knows who Paulie is. Paulie's just a piece of shit. He'll flake out, and Gazzo will end up murdering him.
Well, yeah, and you're not a real tough guy. You're going to get your ass kicked if you go to collect money, you drunken fucking idiot. What are you talking about?
After Apollo Creed's fight gets canceled in Philly because his opponent gets hurt, they can't find another fighter. So Apollo comes up with this idea to give a local underdog fighter an opportunity to celebrate America's bicentennial, which, here's the thing, Apollo has, his trainers, his manager, his blah, 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 the fight promoter. And Apollo, the guy who repeatedly gets punched in the head for a living, he's the one that comes up with this idea, which is brilliant. I got two things here. One, the fight promoter isn't like, hey, it's the bicentennial. Every poster of Apollo in this office, bicentennial, America, nobody comes up with this idea but Apollo.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
You can't find a single other fighter. They're like, well, the guy who's in the number 3 slot to fight for the title, he's fat and out of shape. Like, apparently in the 70s, that was a thing. Boxers just randomly got fat and out of shape. And this guy's old, and this guy broke his leg, and this guy's in France. Like, you couldn't find a single fucking fighter.
In fairness, Rocky has smoked 2 cartons of Marlboros by the time we've gotten to this point in the movie. So, no, I totally believe that. Like, yeah, this guy's out in fucking Vegas, fucking hooers like Fredo 2 at a time. Like, he can't do this. Here's what I like about this scene, and actually I love about this scene, is it demonstrates that Rocky is a fighter.
Yeah.
Rocky's a boxer. It's what he is. It's who he is. That's all he is. Right?
Yeah.
Apollo is much bigger. Apollo gets the game.
Yes.
Right? Like, he totally understands the pageantry that has to go into it. He's almost got like that WWE pro wrestling background with his thinking. Like, we're going to make it a show.
It's a huge show, yeah.
You don't have to set, like, and that's where I understand kind of where these promoters are with this fight, is because they're all worried about the rankings, right? It's got to be a ranked guy. It's got to be a proven guy. He has to be somebody that's known, marketable, etc. And he's like, he doesn't have to be shit. We're giving him a chance. This is a Cinderella story. Everybody loves this.
You were right.
He's worried about the pageantry. He's worried about the ticket sales.
Yes.
Because as they say later, he's never even been knocked down in a fight before.
Yeah.
The fight is not the issue to him. It's all about the money right now. He's Floyd Mayweathering the shit out of this.
Oh, absolutely. Outside of like beating women, he's definitely Floyd Mayweathering the shit
exactly.
out of this.
And Rocky is his Conor McGregor. That's what he's doing. Like, oh, we're going to put on a fucking show and it's going to be amazing. And hey, everybody loves the underdog.
But we then get Apollo, and it's 1976. So Apollo finds Rocky in this like fight book that I guess they get from the local library. Like, I don't know where they found this book, but it's just a book of local fighters and pictures and bios. And he loves the name the Italian Stallion because an Italian discovered America. It would be great to fight an Italian on the bicentennial. Like, his whole reasoning as to why it's got to be Rocky is fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, he gets the game.
Rocky then takes Adrian out on a date on Thanksgiving night. Paulie takes Rocky to their house, to his house where him and Adrian live. He doesn't tell Adrian. He basically looks at Rocky and goes, hey, yeah, I told Adrian they're going to go on a date. And she's like, cool, I'm super psyched.
7 times he says, yes, I told her, she's excited. Rocky asked 7 times.
And they get there, and Paulie never told her anything about a date. First of all, she's cooking Thanksgiving dinner in the dark. There's no lights on in that fucking place.
Yeah, Paulie's got a flowers in the attic situation going on with this thing, and I am not approving of it.
I told you she's very excited.
Oh,
and then you turn around and blame her for it. Hey, you're never going to get out of this house. You need to go live your life. Bitch, you make me cook Thanksgiving in the dark.
Adrian here gets pissed. Paulie then shows how much of a loving brother he is by berating her and throwing her turkey that she's cooking out into the back alley.
Now you've gone too motherfucking far, Paulie. This is when I'm chopping you up into little pieces while you sleep, because damn that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fuck with my food, dude.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi, kids, Uncle Corey. I don't give a fuck how mad you are at somebody or how drunk you are or what kind of fucking whatever has happened to you in your life. Don't fuck with somebody else's food, especially when they're in the middle of cooking it all fucking day.
Yes.
I would have stabbed him with a fucking butter knife.
I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
So Adrian finally gets ready and she goes out with Rocky. He takes her to the ice skating rink that's closed, but he slides the guy $10 to let Adrian skate for 10 minutes while he walks on the ice and mumbles vowel sounds to her basically for about 5 minutes.
There's a couple scenes here that I really like. I love when she comes out of her room just dressed, doesn't say a fucking word.
Yes.
Looks at Rocky and is like, are you ready?
Yep.
That is awesome because she's getting, this is like the first stage of Adrian just being that bitch. Like 100%, like that Lizzo line where like I took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch.
Yeah. That's
Adrian right here, right now.
Yep.
She's on her way. And I love when I understand Rocky in the pet store now because of the ice skating scene, because he's so fucking nervous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's just a mess. And everybody, man, woman, whatever, you can 100% relate to being that nervous around somebody that you are just like so enamored with. You've liked them so much for so long, and you finally get out on a date and you can't stop your fucking mouth from running.
That's me about 90% of the time. Rocky then takes Adrian back to his place so she can see how poor he is in real time. And I have a quick don't do that for everybody out there.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, literally everybody. It doesn't matter if you're going out on a date or you're having a friend, you're inviting a friend over after you guys go out, whatever the hell. But if you're going to bring somebody back to your place, even if you're the poorest person in the world, you literally have nothing. Clean the fucking place. I don't care if it's a mat, your grocery cart, the fucking 0-bedroom studio apartment that you have. You don't even need to vacuum. Can you just pick up the trash and the newspapers randomly like strewn about the fucking place? Beer bottles in the back of the couch? Like, it's Philly. Just pick up the shit and throw it out the window. Like, make it Philly clean, at least.
Somebody will use it.
So Rocky then gets the news that Apollo wants to fight him from Mr. Juergens, the fight promoter.
This is by far, to me, one of the best acting scenes Sylvester Stallone has ever done.
Yep.
Because, you know, he comes in and he wants the job and he's trying so hard not to fuck up. He's just looking straight ahead, and I'm not going to take a shot at the champ. I'd be honored to, you know, he's saying all the things and it's so robotic. And then the guy's like, no. I want you to fight him for the world heavyweight title. And the look on his face.
Yeah.
Just that kind of like, oh, fuck. That is one of the best scenes. It is so genuine. And I like if somebody, the only way I can really relate to it is like, if somebody came up to me and was like, hey, man, you're going to go into a writing contest against Stephen King. In a month, start writing your book. What?
Yeah. Well, and
you know what I mean?
He starts off by saying, like, his first reaction is no. I'm not even in the same class as this dude. Like, I don't even understand what's going on here. But so no, I'll be his sparring partner, but I'm not fighting him.
Well, he understands. I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me. Yeah. He knows that the whole time.
After some coaxing, he agrees to the fight, and then we get the scene where Mickey shows up to Rocky's apartment and says that he'll manage and train Rocky for the fight, even though he told him that he was a giant piece of shit. You're a tomato. Earlier in the movie.
Literally said to him, after calling him a racial slur, literally says to him, you had all the talent in the world and you chose to go be a leg breaker.
Yeah.
Like, basically, like, I literally want nothing to do with you.
Yep. And this is one of, you're talking about some of your favorite scenes in the movie. This is one of my favorite ones because, again, you get a little bit into Rocky's mindset here. Like, he's literally his whole life has been told he's a big piece of shit and he's too dumb to do it, from his dad telling him, like, yeah, you might as well be a fighter because you got no brains, to, you know, Mickey, like, oh, you had all the talent, but you're a piece of shit because you break legs for a living, whatever. And Mickey's pitching it to him, and Rocky is not listening. We talk about, like, nonverbal acting again. He's not listening. He's trying to focus on everything else in his shithole apartment other than what Mickey is saying. And he goes into the bathroom because he's like, I can't fucking take this. Like, just get out of here. And as Mickey leaves, Rocky loses his shit, and Rocky starts berating him through the door of the apartment, which that whole scene, from the time Mickey gets in the apartment to the time he's walking away and Rocky's basically unloading all of his, like, years of emotional damage onto Mickey, the whole scene is amazing.
Yeah, from start to finish, this is a masterclass in just, like, scene work and sculpting one specific scene. Two actors using the whole room, using all the props they possibly can without overdoing it. And the way Burgess comes in, so slimy, like a used car salesman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, oh, hey, you remind me of Rocky Marciano, and let me tell you this story. Management is what I never had. Management.
Well, what you need is a manager. A manager. Listen to me. I know.
You respect Mickey as a character throughout these movies, and you grow attached to him because he's that brutally honest guy.
Yeah.
That guy that's just, fuck you. If you're funny, I'm gonna laugh. If you're not funny, I'm not laughing. And fuck you if you don't like any part of me whatsoever. He just doesn't give a shit. And he comes in like this fucking worm.
Yeah.
And Rocky's already had Paulie hitting him up. He's already feeling that kind of pressure. And for Mickey to do this, it's just like Rocky's done. Where I think where if Mickey would have came in and still been genuine, but been like, look, kid, like, I don't like you. I don't believe in what you've done, but you need a trainer. You have this shot. You can't, start playing Lose Yourself for him. Watch 8 Mile. This is super important. You know what I mean? Like, you need me. I need you. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And if he started from there, it would have been different, but he comes in so wormy. And then for the whole scene to change, because at first you're like, yeah, Rock, fuck that guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then for the whole scene to change where Burgess Meredith, like, you get his motivation all of a sudden because he's like, I'm 76.
Yeah.
Like, he's as poor as Rocky is.
Yeah.
He's a fucking bum too, and he never got that shot. And he knows he came at it so wrong.
Yep.
And he never did,
and then you get
it's gut wrenching.
No,
Rocky going through his thing, and it flips it again because now Rocky's not the bad guy anymore for yelling at an old man and telling him to fucking kick rocks. Rocky is like, you're back on Rocky's side where he's just like, like, fucking, what, my place is nice? Go fuck yourself. Like, it's a fucking shithole. What are you talking? Like, as soon as Mickey says, oh, your place is nice, rewatch the movie. As soon as he says your place is nice, Rocky's entire face changes.
Yep.
Because he knows why Mickey's there, but it's how he comes at him.
Yep.
That
100%.
Totally just ruins it all.
And Rocky then, after, Mickey walks down the street, he chases him down. They apologize, whatever. They shake hands. Mickey is now his trainer. So now it's time to start training. And this is where the movie really picks up and starts moving.
We're done. Fuck your character building.
Yes.
You know who we are. It's time to go to work.
Exactly. So we start by drinking raw eggs, and we're running through the streets of Philadelphia. This motherfucker running in chucks, so his feet are broken after this first run. And he's puking up mucus after the first run because he was ripping heaters the whole movie up to this point.
Yeah, he's literally puking up black tar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, somewhere in Afghanistan, they're trying to package his black tar vomit and repurpose it as heroin. It's so fucking thick and disgusting.
Oh, yeah, great.
Rocky then goes to the meatpacking plant to talk to Paulie, where Paulie works. Paulie asks if he's fucking his sister, and Rocky here starts punching the hanging beef to basically show what he'll do to Paulie if he keeps running his mouth. And dude, I had no idea, like, completely forgot about this, but as I'm analyzing the scene and looking at it, how I look at movies now, it's Paulie says, are you banging my sister? And he's like, dude, shut up. Don't talk about your sister like that. And then he asks him again. And Rocky then looks at the beef and just starts, but he's staring at Paulie's soul. Like, he's staring through Paulie and just pounding the fuck out of the side of beef. And I went, oh, totally over my head for the longest time until I saw it this time. And I went, he wants to beat the fuck out of Paulie, but he can't. He doesn't want to hurt him, but he wants to just show him, like, I will fuck you up if you keep talking.
Yeah, I got zero of that subtext. The millions and millions of times I have watched this movie. Yeah, and it never dawned on me. But you're right. Like, he's yelling at him about his sister. But then he yells at him specifically about not working for Garza. And he punches on the fucking meat. And that's when he's like, oh, you're going to punch the beat. You think you're a tough guy. You can work for him. Like, this is what I do. And you're right. He does that Mike Tyson. I'm looking through you because you no longer exist as a human being. And he just starts wailing on it. And it's, again, this is what, when I watched it, I had to rewind this scene and watch it again just to make sure I was right.
Yeah.
But again, this is one of those scenes, and hats off to Sly, because this is his baby. He wrote the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, he did.
For him to have that subtext in there. Because we all want to see Paulie get hit. He's so disrespectful to Adrian, if nothing else.
Yeah.
We just want to see him get fucking knocked on his ass one time to show him who he really is.
Yeah.
But this is so much better.
Paulie then also gets Rocky an interview with the local news station to talk to him about how he trains by punching beef at the meatpacking plant. And this is what I believe most of the people, when they think about Rocky punching meat, this is the scene that they think about, not the original scene of how the whole thing originated.
Yes, not the bloody as fuck, brutal.
Yes.
Like, when Rocky's punching the meat in the news clip, he's training.
Yes. Yep.
He's hitting it and he's working hard, but it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same.
No. No, he brutalizes a side of beef in the first scene.
Yes.
He's just hitting a side of beef in the second scene. So,
and I think it was the specialist where I commented on Sly's left hook.
Yes. Yeah.
Bro, that motherfucker's had that forever, and I stand by it.
You know what? After watching this again, I stand by that as well. I think I disagreed with you, the specialist, but I'll agree with you on this one.
Yeah, you made fun of me and said it was fake. Oh, I remember every slight against me.
But Paulie then here gets drunk, comes home to be abusive. He's fucking swinging the bat because Rocky's telling Adrian about, like, dude, Paulie's he's a fucking scumbag. Like, he gets the news to come out and he's like, that's fucking weird. And so he tells her about this interaction and he's just like, man, like, he's got to get his shit together. Paulie overhears it and now it's fucking Joe DiMaggio time. He's taking out his bat like he's actually good. Okay. Here's a don't do that.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
When you grab a bat, motherfucker, you better use it. Because if I'm Rocky in this situation, I pound the fuck out of Paulie and I put him in the hospital. Because Paulie grabs this bat and hits everything in the apartment except for the two people he actually wants to hit. Because he knows if he takes one fucking swing at Adrian or Rocky, he's getting murdered.
Yes.
This is a bullshit coward move by a fucking small human. Like, that's what this scene is. And again, another great scene that I didn't really remember. And I'm like, yo, he's fucking breaking shit in the apartment. He's swinging and hitting shit. Just, how about this? Don't do that. It's just end of fucking PSA. Just don't do that. And if you're gonna do it, just fucking take the swing and accept the consequences.
You were right.
At this point in the story, I found myself asking, Paulie, who the fuck told you were special to begin with?
No, that's delusions of grandeur.
Nobody's done this, nobody's done that, this hasn't happened, you don't take care of me, da-da-da-da-da. And it's just like, dude, who the fuck told you anybody was supposed to take care of you?
Yeah.
You grew up in fucking South Philly, you piece of fucking garbage.
Yep.
You should know better. And what I will say, this is the part where I love Adrian all the way. Because Adrian does like a full arc right here where she's like, I'm fucking done. Who the fuck are you? Like, what do you mean I don't take care of you? I cook for you. I clean for you. I wash the shit stains out of your fucking laundry. Like, who are you, motherfucker? And this, I was dying because she represents the full arc of the Lil Wayne line in A Milli, where he says, I hate a shy bitch. I ate a shy bitch. Yeah, she ain't shy no more. She changed her name to my bitch. Adrian.
Yeah, no, what I loved about this scene, because you get her like actually speaking up and defending herself here, but and it's a small little piece, but it's the exclamation point on it. Because she yells at him, she walks away and goes into a room and slams the door. Rocky goes into the room, like literally, he opens the door, doesn't say a fucking word. The camera pans to her and she goes, "So you looking for a roommate?" Boom, end of scene. And he was just like, "Yeah, you move in with me." And then, they move in together. It was such a great exclamation point on the end of that scene. And it was really subtle and I fucking loved it. Now it's time for the real training. You got the score playing here underneath as Rocky's running with bricks and he's doing push-ups and he's just being Rocky. And we get to the night before the fight. He goes to the arena to basically take in the moment. And he goes home and he tells Adrian that he has like this vulnerable moment where he's like, "I can't beat Apollo. All I really want to do is go the distance so people won't think I'm a bum."
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey here. In the Bronx Tale, we discussed the test, the door test, right? Now you open the car door, lock the car door, da-da-da-da-da. This is the real test. Present your partner with a problem that you are having personally.
Yep.
And if their response is like Adrian's is here, which is, "What are we going to do about it?" Keyword being we.
Yeah.
You got to ride or die. You're good to go. That's the one thing I took away from this scene. Obviously, yes, him going the distance, that's awesome, blah, blah, blah. I was so blown away when she said that, I had to rewind it just to make sure I heard it again.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're looking for. That's 100%. All anybody wants is, you got a problem? How are we going to solve it?
We get to fight night, and we get the introductions. Rocky comes out in just his robe or whatever.
Better than the bathrobe he fucking wore at the beginning of this thing.
Exactly.
That bathrobe was disgusting.
It was dirty and gross. And he probably paid Mickey $6 to use it. So Apollo comes out with his normal showmanship. We get both introductions. We see how out of place Rocky really is in this situation.
Oh, he looks like a fan. Like he's just front row at a boxing event. It's amazing.
Exactly. So, and then the fight begins, and it doesn't disappoint. Rocky knocks Apollo down in the first round. They continue actually boxing for a bit, and it eventually just turns into a street fight where there isn't any strategy. They're just willy-nilly swinging from the hips wildly at each other. And this is probably one of the best shot actual boxing scenes that, again, we're talking 1976. I've seen boxing shit fairly recently within the past couple of years that were shot worse than this. It was beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. It looked like they both knew what they were doing, which, again, I talked about it in Whiplash. I've talked about it in other, like, when you get karate, music, boxing, sports, football, when you shoot stuff, just get guys, actors, stand-ins, whatever, that know what the fuck they're doing. Everything shot here was fucking brilliant.
Yes.
And the escalation, because it starts out as the boxing match that it's supposed to be, and then it just turns into a fucking slugfest.
Yeah, and I said it earlier, and I have to reiterate, I love again the fact that this is not full guy Apollo, because he even says he and his trainer are discussing one time in the court after the first round.
Yeah.
And he says to him, this guy doesn't fucking think this is a show. He thinks it's a fight. Like, you need to put him down now.
Yeah.
And just that determination of Rocky, like, fuck that. I'm not losing. Like, I'm not, you're not knocking me out.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. What happens, I'm getting back up. And it's weird because it took about 372 different movies for Rocky to finally get around to the point when they did Balboa or whatever the remake was.
Yeah.
The first one where he's talking about life hits you, it's about getting back up. That's basically what this is. If you play that monologue over this scene of just this fight, it fits perfectly.
No, absolutely.
And that's almost what makes it better, is because he doesn't have to spell it out for you.
Yeah.
You're not really watching a boxing match here. Even though everything Armando said is correct. It's done beautifully. It's choreographed perfectly. These guys look like boxers. They're throwing punches that look like real punches.
Yeah.
It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
But what you're actually, they're storytelling. We talk about it all the time, like with WWE. This fight is they're telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking fantastic.
Yes. It absolutely is.
And the build up right to the end there, when Apollo is just like, when Rocky gets up, he thinks he's knocked Rocky out the final time, right? And if Rocky gets back up and Apollo's just like, are you fucking kidding me? It's so awesome.
That's great. And as they get into the later rounds, the score is fucking incredible. And I'm glad that you're wearing the shirt that you're wearing, because the fact that this was later used by Biggie makes it that much better. Like, that score that they use throughout the fight, it builds all the fucking suspense even more. Like, listen, at the end of the day, we all know what's going to happen, but we don't, because Rocky doesn't win this fight.
Exactly.
It's a split decision. Apollo keeps the title, and that's how we get Rocky 2. But the fight ends after Rocky goes the complete distance with Apollo. Apollo tells Rocky here, when the bell rings, there ain't going to be no rematch.
This is great.
Ain't gonna be no rematch. Ain't gonna be no rematch.
Don't want one.
Rocky loses his goddamn mind screaming for Adrian. She gets to the ring. They hug, and the movie ends as it's announced that Apollo is still the champ. From beginning to end, and I said this before we started recording, the pacing for the first half of this movie is a little bit slow for me. But again, I already know all the characters. I know who they are. I know what they do, and so I don't need the build up. But it's a slow burn. But man, once the fight gets announced that Rocky and Apollo are fighting, the pacing picks up, and it blazes through the rest of the movie. And dude, everything about this movie is still holds up. The script, everything, the directing, everything is done brilliantly. And analyzing it this time around, and not just watching it and enjoying a movie, I never realized, and I take back everything I said about Sylvester Stallone not being a good actor. Because this is fucking awesome, and he does a great job.
Oh yeah, great.
I don't know if I would necessarily crown him king, but this is what I will say.
He's not king, however.
Fair enough. I will say this. I've never used these words together on this show before, but this is a beautiful film. It is just top to bottom. It is great. The reason I'm not going to sing Rocky's praises or Sylvester Stallone's praises necessarily as an actor is because this was his passion project. So he motherfucking swung for the fences in every way he could. Yeah. Zero beef with it. But this is what I expect. If you care about something this much, where he put everything on the line for it, because I read somewhere where they offered him basically like $131,000 or some bullshit to just buy the script outright.
Yeah.
And he said, no, this is his. He's keeping it. And they offered him significantly less, which I think was just basically like, okay, fine. You want this to be yours. You're going to work as an actor. Great. You're doing all of it at scale. We're not paying you shit. And he was broke as a joke, and he still went for it because he knew he had something.
Yeah.
So I expected that kind of effort when you are putting all of your hopes and dreams into something. Yeah. And his later work, like, look, they're not all winners, but also you don't have to do Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. That's all I'm saying.
No, and I totally agree with you on all of that. But there has to be some base talent level
100%
for you to give that performance. is he, the best actor? No, he's not. But with this, I was like, okay, he's way better of an actor than I actually gave him credit for.
Oh yeah, he deserves way more respect than he gets. This movie deserves way more respect than it gets.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I've never actually analyzed this movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, because nobody ever paid me to do it. But I've never actually sat and analyzed this movie, and this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Because if you take out everything everyone likes to make fun of, right? All of the sequels and Rocky. Take out all of the bullshit and everything everybody makes fun of and sit down and watch this like it's your first time.
Yep.
Dark room, nothing but you in this movie to focus on. You are going to be blown the fuck away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I literally don't have a bad thing to say. The storytelling was great. The director did a fantastic job. Like everything about this movie, just press play, enjoy the ride. Like that's really all I have to say.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more.
That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, for anybody that wants to know what movies are coming up, you can look in the description. We'll have it there. If you want to follow us again on Twitter, we will have a working list on Twitter as well. So follow both me and Corey on Twitter. And that's all we got, folks. So for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1976's Rocky.